Okay, so I'm going to return back to the document that I used for the previous video. If you have done this in class with me, or if you have a setup already, you can always use this as a template and then make a copy or save the file as evaluation essay per se. But I want to show you how to use or do uh, direct quotes within your commentary for your essays and other exercises that I have you do, maybe discussion boards, or even I know I've got there are quizzes that are set up to help you build paragraphs. And so you would need to know how to do these. So if you haven't, you're going to go and to create this, you're going to go to insert and you're going to go to page numbers. And then once you're in page numbers, you're going to select the one in the upper right hand corner. You're going to put your last name and then spacebar and click off. Once you've clicked off, make sure that you are Times New Roman 12 font, black font as well. And then you want to be in the left margin from this point forward, except for when you do your centering, but everything's left, aligned left. You're going to make sure that your lines for spacing are double spaced. You're not going to have anything else checked. And this should say add. That means it wants you to add a space when you click it. And if it says remove, that means there is space. So you don't want any extra space anywhere throughout your document, just double spaced. So how do we do in-text citations? Once you center your title, then you come down to where you're supposed to be, use your tab key, it brings you with your indentation. I'm using the one from an assignment for an evaluation essay. This is the Adobe Acrobat, or just the full text online version. A couple of things that you can do, show you a couple of little tricks. Publication contents, this is going to take you to that area where maybe you're looking for some justification, and you should find it here. There's another little feature that if you hit your control key and the F key together, you're going to see that you get a box up here at the top of your screen. So again, that's control F. And let's say you're looking for, let's just say social. Well, that brings up 58. So more relevant, I'm going to use social media. And it narrows me down to 55. So whatever your word choice is, let's do data. Okay, data is good. It gives me 8 different places. So I can go to these 8 places and see, well, there's 4 on one page, well, 5. And then it takes me to the next page where you see them. How do I know it moved pages? I saw it move, but here's your page numbers. So these are very important to know for your in-text citations. So all of them have page numbers. If it doesn't, then just skip back, like this one's on the other side, but you can skip back. Okay, this one's numbered, so that's 44. The next one will be 45. Perhaps it's not numbered, so you know the next one's 46. All right, so control F brings up your box so you can use it. I was starting mine, and so I wanted to show you how to interject quotes within your commentary. Kind of cheated, but to save time for you guys so that you don't have to watch everything I'm doing, I have gone ahead and made mine. So I started out with the pressures of cyberbullying on social media platforms exist beyond the screen. I got the reader's attention. You know what it's about. You don't want to go too much in depth with your introduction. And necessarily, this isn't an introductory paragraph. It's an example to show you how to incorporate quotes. Then I put in my words. This could stem from this part is in, that's going to be one. Sorry, I got distracted. This is going to be in the quote. So as you saw me move that, it has a quote within a quote. So social media addiction is not my words. That's the words of the author. But then again, since it's quoted inside their article, then they're giving the attribute that it's not their words either. So if you have a quote that you're going to use and it has a quote in it, then the quote inside gets 1, your outside quote gets 2. And I ended it with 3 because social media addiction is where I ended. Had I had words that continued, then I would still have just 1, according to whatever, random words. It would look like that with only 1 here. And then this would be the end of my quote. So very seldom does that happen. I'm going to erase all of this to get it back to where it needs to be. But I'm going to have 3, and the way you do that is an apostrophe and then your quotations. Now, notice that this word is misspelled. I don't change it. And the reason I don't change it is because in the article, it went through peer review and it went through editing, and it was misspelled. So I am using quotes. When you use quotes, that is the exact words from the article or the story or wherever you're pulling those quotes from. So you don't change anything, you leave it as is because it's quoted. So it's misspelled. So the form of addiction known as social media addiction. Now, I added part of their sentence in and it fit mine. So I'm going to use it this way. I don't put a period here. I add my in-text citation first. And the reason I did that is because I'm going to skip over to the article, and here's all of the authors, right? So I'm going to put Palmer because that's the first one listed, and then et al., which means there's more. And then the page number, go back to that, and it was on page 642. That's 43. So that's the page number it gets. Now, I know a lot of times if you download these, it'll give you page 1, 2, 3, 4. Not necessarily. You have to look for these because sometimes they're at the top of the papers or articles. Sometimes they're at the bottom. Sometimes they're on the right. Sometimes they're on the left. Sometimes they're in the center. If it doesn't have one, try to find it on at least the first page. And if you can't find one at all after downloading it, then you can use the web page 1, 2, 3, 4. It's acceptable. All right, so page 642. And then I continued with some more of my wordings. Persons with, not my words, so it's in quotes, social media addiction, display of, and then increased risk of depression, anxiety, and stress. And then I put my words as noted in a study of medical students by Parma Associates, and I put only the page number this time. One is because the actual quote before it had it. When in doubt, just add the author. But I put the name here, and I didn't put et al. Because I put associates, which shows and signifies it is the same article. And if you reference the article in the sentence, then you only have to put the page number at the end. Again, note that the period is not at the end of the sentence. It is not at the end of the quote. It is after the last parenthesis of the in-text citation. That's one of the hardest punctuation because we're in such a habit of putting punctuation at the end of sentences, which isn't a bad thing. But for in-text citations, it goes after the last one.